So I watched or I started watching the new Night of the Living Dead movie last night. The one that just came out with Vivica Fox and Dee Wallace and Miko Hughes. It's some familiar faces in there. It's some genre people in there. I didn't make it through the movie, not necessarily because I was tired, but because I knew what was becoming of the movie after the opening credits. Now I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all, man. Like the trailer looked like shit, but it was like two little things in there that I appreciated. Those are the two little things that I appreciated when I watched it last night. In the opening, before the title card even drops and the opening credits roll, the opening takes place at Beekman's Diner. It's a zombie attack, a huge zombie attack at Beekman's Diner. Um, and if you're a big fan of the original Night of the Living Dead, you know that the late great Dwayne Jones mentions Beekman's Diner in his monologue, that classic monologue when he's talking to Barbara. So it opens up with Beekman's Diner, and it's a big ass zombie attack after everything seems cool, and it's some cool effects in there. They're okay, like they're not terrible like I thought they were going to be. And then boom, title card, and then you see Barbara running for her life in the woods. Same wig, same trench coat, same get up, same look as Judith O'Dea from the original movie. I appreciated that. I appreciated the opening for what it was. Then the movie just started to drag at some point. I turned it off. I do plan to get back to it, but something came to my mind where I was like, I've realized that Night of the Living Dead is not only one of the most beloved properties of all time, but it's also one of the most butchered properties of all time, man. Y'all see all of this shit? Like, y'all see how many and I might have missed some, but y'all see how many Night of the Living Dead remakes or reimaginings or recalibrations or requels that we've been getting, man? They're all terrible. They're all terrible, man. You had the original 1968 movie, which is the greatest horror film of all time, greatest film of all time, greatest zombie movie of all time. Rest in peace, shout out to George A. Romero. You got the remake from 1990, which is the greatest remake of all time. I would Sometimes I go back and forth with Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but it's Night of the Living Dead 1990, best remake of all time for me. But like when we get into shit like Night of the Living Dead 3D, like Sid Haig, rest in peace, shout out to Sid Haig. He can't even save it. Sid Haig alone, if they fully put the movie on his shoulders, he still wouldn't have been able to save this shit, y'all. I promise you. Um, like that movie, the problem with that movie for me, and I was a young boy when that shit came out, and I remember seeing the trailer, and I was like, this looks weird and cheap and not good, but it's Night of the Living Dead, man. I'm a sucker for zombie movies, so I'll watch it. So I remember watching it, man, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but the first thing that took me out of the movie was the fact that Ben is white. They race swapped Ben. Now, here's the thing. If there's any character in movie history that I've seen that can actually be race swapped without argument, it's Ben from Night of the Living Dead, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. While I am used to Ben being a black man in a Night of the Living Dead movie, Ben and George A. Romero himself has said this shit. Ben was never written for any particular color. He wasn't written to be a black man. He wasn't written to be a white man. He was just a character. It just so happened the late great Dwayne Jones was the guy for the job. He was the best actor that read for that role. So they picked him. And I think over years, because he was a black man, we kind of added our own as fans racial tension between him and Cooper. I don't know if that was the original intention, but I feel like that's what we all did. And that's cool, man. That's a narrative I think that we've run with for centuries, man, and it doesn't really bother me. It just adds to the tension and the beef between the two characters. But I had a problem with them race swapping Ben because first of all, he was a shit version of Ben. There was nothing interesting about him. Okay, you ride a motorcycle, you punch the zombie in 3D. Like I don't give a fuck about that. But the thing that took me out of it with them race swapping Ben was the fact that when I was a kid, one of the things that made me gravitate more towards Night of the Living Dead and made me find like the movie just to be a masterpiece. The lead character, the main character, the alpha dog, he looked just like me. I hadn't seen a black character take charge and lead the pack like that, man, and carry the movie the way that he did and just be a badass and then just get killed at the end of it. Surprisingly, shockingly got killed at the end of it. So that was something I rooted for as a kid, man. That was something I admired in cinema. So for them to change it, and they can do that. Like I said, if there's any character that can be race swapped without argument, it's Ben. but it just, you didn't do anything to make it better than the versions we had before. If I'm making any sense. So it was just a dud for me, man. It really was, and it was nothing else surrounded. You know, when they get to the house with Cooper and Helen, I was like, this shit is garbage, man. Night of the Living Dead, what was that, Reanimation? Fucking Jeffrey Combs and Andrew Devolf couldn't even save that shit, and they are horror royalty. Like, first of all, Jeffrey Combs is cool, Reanimator and all of that shit. Like, I like him, but Andrew Devolf is one of the most underrated actors of all time. That dude's got range. That dude's got versatility on screen. I love that actor, but they couldn't do nothing with it. This movie's so fucking forgettable. Then you get to Night of the Living Dead Resurrection, and I remember seeing the trailer for that, and I was like, oh, they made Ben black again. Cool. I don't remember the actor's name, but instead of a crowbar, he's walking around with a tire iron, just like Dwayne Jones was in the original. He had a tire. Tony Todd, recipe shout out, had a tire, a fucking crowbar in the remake. So they gave him a tire iron again, and they killed Ben in like the first 5-10 minutes of the movie. And I get it, like for shock value sake, they wanted to do like a shock value reversing type of thing. Because Ben gets shot all of a sudden at the end of the original. So I guess the shock value, they were like, all right, instead of having him get shot at the end unexpectedly, let's have him get shot in the beginning. Took me right out of the movie because there's nothing else that they did that kept me interested. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Then you get to this one and it's like you gender swapped the lead black actor, which is cool. I don't care. I didn't get that much into the movie, so I can't really judge it. But like I said, the opening wasn't completely terrible if we're talking zombie attacks and all of that. And the zombies change pretty fast. There's a genre familiar in here that's in the opening that gets bit, turns into a zombie like almost immediately. World War Z type of shit. But I don't know. I plan to finish watching it, man. But I just feel like it's crazy because the reason people can make so many Night of the Living Dead movies is because there's no copyright on the original. When they made it, they didn't protect the title. They didn't protect the brand. So anybody and their mom could make a Night of the Living Dead movie. Anybody. That doesn't mean that they should. It doesn't mean that they should, man. It's a property that's all over the fucking place, man. The crazy thing is, I think, like, I don't know what's worse. Which property that George A. Romero has that has been done dirtier, the Night of the Living Dead property or Day of the Dead? Because I'm doing a video on the Day of the Dead movies and the series next. But honestly, I think overall, even though I didn't finish this yet, I think I could say Day of the Dead is the more badly entertaining property, if that makes any sense, because it's dumb fun. These are not fun. Like, these aren't fun. This one, jury's still out on this one, but I don't know if this will be fun. But the ones I just talked about, they're not fun at all. They're not. There's nothing to really enjoy. Like, you can give credit to the practical effects and things like that, but there's nothing with the characters. There's nothing in the story. There's nothing in the action. Like, none of that shit is good. And I just feel like it's a property that deserved better. It's probably why I gotta stop bullshitting and go with my own. Like, I wrote like years back like a modernized version of Night of the Living Dead. And then I kind of like did away with it because I'm like, man, the story's been told. I don't know how many people want to see that, but after seeing this shit, we might need it.